The media aide to the former Labour Minister Chris Ngige has cleared the air as regards the whereabouts of Dr. Ngige amid reports of his alleged abduction from his Abuja home. According to him, the former minister is in EFCC custody and not kidnapped. Fred Chukwulobe, Ngige's aide, dismissed the kidnap claims, confirming the former minister is with the EFCC. The agency is yet to comment. About 2 weeks ago, Ngige's convoy was attacked in Anambra, and he has previously faced ICPC questioning over alleged job racketeering and NSITF contract issues. Meanwhile, ex-Attorney General Abubakar Malami, SAN, is spending a third night in EFCC custody after failing to meet bail terms, including surrendering his passport and producing 2 permanent secretaries as sureties. He's being investigated over alleged terrorism financing and 46 bank accounts, claims his aide calls false and politically driven. Joining me for this conversation are legal practitioners Jide Ologun and Abdulkareem Musa. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight. To what extent, I'll start with you, Jide, to what extent do the EFCC's investigation into Malami's handling of $322.5 million Abacha loot recovery, allegedly involving duplication, abuse of office, money laundering, and terrorism financing, raise questions about the accountability mechanism within Nigeria's Justice Ministry?
Thank you very much. If you look at Section 1 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, it states clearly that the Constitution is the highest law in the land and that it's binding on everyone, including government bodies. And if you look at Section 15 of Section 5 of the same Constitution, it says the state shall abolish corrupt practices and abuse of office. And right now, the former Attorney General of the Federation is being investigated on, allegations that bear on terrorism financing, money laundering, and about 18 different offenses. And of course, the government has the prerogative to investigate him, though by virtue of Section 36 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, he is presumed innocent at this stage until, for example, if he is arraigned in court, prosecuted and convicted for those allegations. And the burden of proof will be on the government, the prosecutor. But by and large, I think the government is waking up now to engaging the need to fight corruption in the country. But at this stage, they are mere allegations. And it's quite embarrassing on the face value of it that what Abacha did to the nation should be nauseating enough. And many have asked in the past, even the monies, part of the money recovered from Abacha loot, what happened to those funds? And if you know where Nigeria is right now, we must rise up to fight corruption. A country where over 130 million citizens out of 200 official million, are within the multifaceted poverty bracket. And we understand also that Dr. Ngige is currently being queried, Stella Odua, and recently the former governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, was also invited for questioning. And I strongly believe that Nigeria needs to recover from the shock of corruption. And above all this, I look forward to a time when we'll be proactive and be capable of preventing corruption against the land. For all this I have expressed, subject to the presumption of innocence like we have in our Constitution. And we expect that the EFCC and the law enforcement agents will do a thorough job. And we also must be mindful of the fact that America and the whole world, they are beaming their spotlight on Nigeria right now, frowning at the terrorism going on and the hardship in the land. Nigeria as a nation is too blessed to be mentioned on the list of poor countries in the world. So we are monitoring.
We certainly are not poor. If you see the We certainly are not poor if you see the wealth being flaunted across this country. So, I mean, if you want to look at it from the optics that you see on social media. But that's an aside. Abdulkareem, Jide mentioned Odwa. This is the second time that the EFCC, the federal government, will be prosecuting her. An earlier case by the EFCC was withdrawn. That's what we know. Do you have any confidence that this time the prosecution will be followed to the letter and we will get some sort of, verdict from the court as to her guilt or not?
Well, good evening and thanks for having me. Well, my view is that the EFCC's approach to the investigation and prosecution of these suspects is selective in the sense that it appears that the EFCC is undertaking the mandate of the ruling party. The EFCC's investigation and prosecution of alleged criminals seem to be a negotiation tactics. It seems to be that whenever a political figure is being targeted or desired by the APC, the EFCC becomes a tool in the hands of the APC to either intimidate and oppress that political figure, using that prosecution and investigation of the EFCC as a negotiation tactics. It is like, come to our party and your sins will be forgiven. So what did they discover in the previous charge that made them to withdraw it? What has changed? So my position is that the selective application of investigation and prosecution of alleged criminals undermines the duty, the image, and responsibility of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. So I have no confidence in the EFCC as to the proper prosecution of these alleged criminals. Come to think of it, why is it that the only person that the EFCC are going after are the people who seem to be opposing the ruling party or the ruling government? So with regards to your questions, I have no confidence that this invitation, this arrest, this purported investigation is tailored towards addressing any alleged crime. Rather, it is tailored towards doing the bidding of the ruling class and the political party in power.
All right. Jide, I'll come back to you and just ask a follow-up from what Abdulkareem is saying. Do you think that these alleged fraud cases is politically motivated, as has been alleged by Malami's aide and others in this matter? While we are on that, staying with Malami, I'm wondering, is it curious to you that based on what we know and the level he was in this country just a couple of years ago, that he was unable to meet his bail condition? Or again, is that a political move? As briefly as you can, please.
Well, my position is that...
When
okay, the question is for Jide, sorry. Abdulkareem, the question is for Jide. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Those who hold the view that it is politically motivated, yes, they are correct. And the burden of proving that the government is serious is on the government. We have previous issues like that in the country. And the former governor of Ekiti State even went to submit himself to EFCC. And at the end of the day, he was discharged and acquitted by the court. After about 6 years of prosecution. We still have the case of Hadi Sirika there. Still, the case of this lady in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. She was never even prosecuted for any crime. She was merely suspended and removed from office. So we have several cases like that if they were to be tried in the UK, for instance, like the case of the Ekurimadus, they would have landed in jail. I mean, the former governor of Delta State, Ibori, was jailed for 13 years in the UK for a specific crime. So I also am worried by our level of seriousness in fighting corruption. So for those who hold that perception, yes, even look at what happened recently. The Nigerian government sent a delegate to the UK seeking for the transfer of Honorable Remadu to Nigeria to complete his sentence. And the UK government told Nigeria and the world that Nigeria cannot be trusted to dispense justice. And on that scale, that request was refused. I told you, many others have been invited by EFCC. So what came out of all this? Even when the former governor of Plateau State, Dariye, was convicted and even confirmed by the Supreme Court, he eventually got a state pardon. And that's why I said that if Nigeria should come out of the quagmire we are right now, we must be serious about fighting corruption. That's why I started from Section 1 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended. Everyone is subject to the...
Jide, I'm sorry, I did ask you to be brief. I'm really sorry. The news is always brief, so we don't have that much time. Abdulkareem, I wanted to... a source spoke to the Punch newspaper, and they said it's beyond money laundering accusation against Malami. I think some of them also included abuse of office and terrorism of financing. I want you to speak to that quickly.
Yes, by Section 6 of the EFCC Establishment Act, it is part of the responsibility of the EFCC to identify, to trace, to freeze, to confiscate, and to seize proceeds of funds from terrorists. However, the question remains that what evidence do they have? What information do they have linking the alleged persons to offenses of terrorism? It is not sufficient to allege that a former minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was sponsoring terrorists and arresting and refusing bail, where there are tried laws that bail is a right to anybody that has been arrested. So it is beyond the bogus charges, the bogus allegations. It is about the substance of the allegations, what they have to support the claims or the charges that they have against this person. And I want to say again that this Gestapo style of arresting and detaining people, it reinforces the impression that some of us maintain that this arrest and purported prosecution is just a political vendetta. Because if you arrest persons in the caliber of the former Minister of Justice, Malami, persons like the former governor of the state, Ngige, and you deny them bail, people who should ordinarily be granted bail on self-recognizance, it shows that this arrest and prosecution is nothing but a political vendetta and a tactics of silencing opposition. It's like arresting
the decision to not grant bail is that of the court. If they don't meet the conditions that the court has set, would it be fair to allege...
No. This bail we are talking about now, it is not the bail that is granted by the court. This is administrative bail. And the conditions, as stated by several authorities, that the condition for bail must not be stringent. What is the essence of conditions for bail? It is the conditions that are imposed to ensure that whenever you require the presence of this person for continuous investigation, the person will be present.
The
law states that.
I'm sorry. Thank you for that brief clarification. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.